where you control our yellow chicken, and he has two moves. He can stomp, which scares creatures, or he can whistle. And by whistling you can make, for instance, the frog turn around, or you can make the bird follow you. And the idea is that the entire game is played with just these two moves. So in this case I just broke a bridge by stomping on it. And I'll just go past my little friends here. They're just standing here. If I whistle, they'll whistle with me. And this is a sequence which gives an idea of the storyline that we have in the game. So basically, if you walk here, they'll run away really quickly. And you'll see some geysers here with some goo that you don't want to touch. And basically this is the opening of the game, so there's something wrong with the island. It's all green and nice and colored, but there's this weird goo that people or the chickens are scared of. It's our logo. And basically every creature in the game responds differently. If you press A and whistle, in this case, the crab will move towards me and it'll create a bridge for me. But if I stomp, he'll move away from me because he's scared. And every creature will react differently to this. And it's up to the player to figure out what they do and how they can use it to solve the puzzles. So here we got one of the creatures that's used a lot. It's the bubble frog. It's a way to get across gaps that you cannot normally cross. Basically, if you scare him, he'll blow a bubble, and you can ride the bubble to go where you want to go. And what we do in the game is we introduce new things in a playful way. So in this case, there's a sleeping berry bug, which we call it, and it turns out it's the food for the frog to become bloated. So now I can turn the frog around if I want to, by whistling on one of the sides, or I can scare him and he'll blow a bubble, and I'll be able to get up here. And as you progress further through the game, basically you'll learn more and more about the creatures. You'll be able to use their behavior to solve the game's puzzles. Well, the entire game can be played on the gamepad as well, just by pressing the select button. It will move the gameplay to the DRC, or the gamepad as it's called. And so basically you don't need a TV to play the game. It looks a bit better on the TV, of course, but you can switch anytime throughout the game, and it will just move to the other screen. So and another thing that we're doing with the gamepad is that we have a camera mode in which you can take pictures of creatures and collect them, sort of like we call it a Toki Dex. And basically, if you whistle the correct song for this, you'll notice a bird coming on screen, and the gamepad is. Can you see it properly?
Yep.
Okay. So I can now take a picture of this little bird, or I can take a picture of Toki Tori. And then we'll switch to the Toki Dex, and I'll have made a picture of him. And there are over 40 creatures that you can pick up, and if you do, we'll have a little reward for you. But it's purely optional. It's just for people who want to collect everything and want to do everything in the game. So I'll just make him go away. So now we get to the end of the first level, and what you will see is that the entire game world is connected. All the levels are connected. So it's a 2D game, but the world itself is more 3D. And you can travel between different levels, which are layered behind each other. So in this case, I can go through this gate, and you see a tower in the back. And if I now go through the gate, you'll notice that the tower is more up close. You'll see that we're a bit further along now. And basically, after a while, you'll learn that you can travel wherever you want to go. And there's another song that you can do, which calls up the map bird, and he'll pick you up from where you are. And if that happens, you'll be able to fly around the island freely. So basically you can just see where everything is. This is where the tower is that you saw in the background. This is where our volcano is, where the more difficult levels are. And we've got a whole world to explore, which is also shown on the gamepad in its entirety. And you can place pins on places where you want to go, where you thought you were supposed to get some kind of secret. If you want to go there later, you can just place and remove pins freely. So. Okay, cool. Well, this is a level which takes place next to the city. So you see the city walls here on the right, and this actually leads into the wasteland, which is the least happy place of Toki Tori 2. So here you have a lot of creatures that will actually kill you. And at the start of the game, it's all there's a lot of grass and a lot of happy things, and basically. The further you go to the left, the less happy it becomes. You actually see some dead creatures here as well. And the idea is that this is a crossover into the more darker side of the game. In this case, I have to get rid of these guys, and I do that by making a bridge for him. And I'll wait until he's on it, and then I'll call the crab. And then he won't have a connection with the beams, the electricity beams anymore.